One quite cool thing I do is like with the bridesmaids, I sometimes get a wee cheeky text message in the morning.
Are you wearing shorts today?
Yes. And then...
Yes, here we go. Thank you everyone for watching and listening to the podcast. This is a new experience.
You haven't watched yet.
Oh yeah. Well, they're watching now. So
right,
this is a new experience for us all and a big step from recording short podcasts in front of my computer. So let's see how this goes. And firstly, a massive thank you to the Loch Ness Country House Hotel, who have been kind enough to let us come into their fantastic wedding venue today and record the podcast here. Now, as you can see, I have one of the most successful, in-demand and handsome Humanist Celebrants in the Highlands with me today. If you're involved in weddings in any way, whether that is as a wedding supplier or having already got married or looking to get married, Halde's name will no doubt have been recommended to you as your celebrant for your wedding. From social media stardom to probably having the busiest diary I've known someone to have, Halde is a friendly, funny and most importantly, very likeable person. So
You'd be very nice to me too.
So I'm delighted to have him as my first guest in the podcast. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm honoured to be your first guest. Pop in your podcast chair and these beautiful surroundings on this lovely day in Inverness.
Good.
Beautiful day.
What did you think of that intro? That's pretty good.
I was waiting for the punchline to come. I was waiting for something to happen, but you've never been so nice.
Well, yeah.
Did you write that, or was that Kimberly?
And I've also written that I've surely never been as nice to you. So
there you go. Love it.
And it was a bit like one.
You say again? I didn't hear it. You say again?
It was a bit like one of your wedding introductions, wasn't it? During a ceremony, that's how you speak a little bit about people, and you're just nice in general.
Well, I think if you just have to get people relaxed, because I think with a wedding, it's ingrained in you since you're a kid. You know, behave. You know, you're going to a wedding, you put a shirt on, put a tie on, have a shower, have a shave. You need to behave, formal. You're going to a wedding, behave, shh. So I think that's still instilled with you as a kid, up until adulthood. I mean, you'll go to a wedding and a couple, and there'll be a really cool couple, and you'll know what wedding to expect, but you still don't know how the ceremony is going to go.
Yeah.
So if you try and break, there's loads of little things you can do, but if you try and break that formality right at the start and make people relax and sit back and go, oh, thank fuck. Then it's great. They can carry on.
And you're making me relax for our first podcast today. It's pretty good. So you've kind of answered a few of my questions there, but I was going to say, we've known each other for around 12 years, maybe I'd say. Did you ever think there'd be a day? Did you ever think there'd be a day where we're sitting here recording a podcast together?
Yes, every day.
Every day. Before podcasts were even a thing.
Podcasts were even a thing 12 years ago. No, but that's life, isn't it? You have to kind of roll with life, isn't it? You know, we both started out as quite young coppers.
Yeah.
In the back when it was Northern Constabulary. Yeah. And then we saw the evolution into Police Scotland and things like that. And I made my escape before things got any worse. But it's good. It's I think it shows. Well, we're dealing with people, weren't we?
Yeah.
Right back in the day, you're dealing with people. And we're still dealing with people. Less people shout at me and swear at me and want to hurt me. You still have that, unfortunately.
So we've come on a fair journey, haven't we?
Yeah, it's enough we've matured, aged maybe.
But I still remember the night when I was having a party at one of my houses with my mates, and you've turned up after a rugby trip, and what can only be described as a tiny vest and a tiny pair of shorts, maybe. What do we remember of that?
That was back when I was at the gym, so I was just showing myself off a wee bit. No, that was a stored away trip with Ross Sutherland, I think it was.
Yeah.
Big old Ross Sutherland. We were just on the way back. I think I arrived quite late at yours.
I think it was late. It was.
Did we go into town?
I think so. I think it was a good night anyway.
Did I get changed before I went into town?
I'm not sure.
Surely I wouldn't have been let into any bars or pubs. I'm sure I might have borrowed a shirt. I think I might have borrowed a t-shirt or something from somebody. Maybe I've still got it.
Probably.
But yeah, that's about all I remember of that night.
No, it was good. It was good. So why don't you start by telling us a bit about yourself and maybe how you got to the stage of wanting to be a Humanist Celebrant and then becoming one?
I suppose, I lived various different lives before the police. I was a bit of a bum, kind of travelling around the place. Left school, played rugby, to a decent enough standard, I suppose, in New Zealand, and then got distracted with other things, and then partying took over, but then got myself sorted out. Ski instructor in France, travelled around for Spain, all that sort of stuff, and then life kind of throws things at you. You need to kind of settle down and sort yourself out. And at that time, the police were recruiting, and it could have been the post office.
Yeah,
like, literally, it could have been Royal Mail or the milkman or whoever employs the milk people. So I just put in my application, and I got in, and then I was like, I might actually take this seriously then. And I remember working, as my application was going through, I was working with Thurso police station. So when I lived up in Caithness.
Okay.
Working at Thurso police station in the reception, and that helped get a lot of experience. I still remember, because at the Thurso police station, like the cells are quite close to everything. And I'm sure you remember like your first, fight or your first big bad guy or your first death, your first sort of things. And I remember my first sort of insight into how different people live, I suppose. So anyway, Thurso, and I got through and did the college, all that sort of stuff. Came to Inverness, met you, all went downhill from there. Like. I enjoyed it. What did I do? 5 or 6 years or so. I found out, I'm from a farming background. And you know yourself, like I worked hard. I not anything special, but I just hated being bored. I hated doing nothing. I know. Again, this is the same for any job, not just police. For some people, a sign of a good day is getting home at 5. But for me, and for you as well, it was never like that. It was like, because we were quite young, I know I had a wee one, but so we were working way hard, and then, 5, 6 years, the further you got in, the less time you got at home, the more responsibilities possibly you had in work, away from home life, and it affected it. So came out, it was the 2014 when Police Scotland made that incredible decision to cancel everybody's holidays when they didn't sort themselves out for the Commonwealth Games. And then we had a big trip booked for Euro Disney, which was a big trip for us, first time with the kids and things like that. So I was like, let's do it. So I left and then went to work in the wood, kind of getting back to the farming side of things, cutting down trees, big man stuff. But then I kind of missed the interaction with people. It sounds cheesy, but you join certain things, nursing, policing, teaching, things like that, fire service. You join that because you want to help people. The money, the crack, the adventures, but ultimately there's a strand there that you want to help people, and I still miss that. So when the opportunity came to train as a Humanist Celebrant, I took it. And excelled.
So I didn't realise that you actually had a job in between that. You were saying with the wood, working and then into that. So when you left the police, was being a Humanist Celebrant on your radar at that point, or was it just
Not really.
How did it come to you? Like, was it just something
not
you fancied
really.
doing? Or?
Like I said, well, I was at the end of, we did a couple of big operations with drug operations in Inverness, and the court system was just horrendous, and just, there's no justice there for anyone. So I was kind of disillusioned, and then when the cancellation of 2014 holidays, I was like, right, that's me out. It wasn't, looking back, it was a really brave. It was a really big. I know I've spoken to a few people. It's like, at the time I didn't think it was, because I was like, no, I'm not happy, so I'm going to make. I'm very much not impulsive, but if I don't like something, I won't do it. Unless it has to be done. For my family. But if I won't do it. If I don't like somebody, I won't speak to them. But that's just me. And some people like it, some people don't. So that was me. So I went. But looking back, I was very brave. 2 young kids and a house and mortgage and all that sort of stuff. And I quit what would be a steady job.
Well, that's it, isn't it? And you got income coming in every month.
But I think I was just before the cusp of pension, because my pension's not that great. But if I stayed in for a wee while, that might have been a contributing factor. So I just came out and not hope for the best. I'm not an idiot.
Right.
I was always going to find something, and I was very willing to find a mediocre job in the meantime. And then it was just during that time, I think, I looked into doing the wood and getting my chainsaw licenses and creating a business in that way and stuff like that, because I enjoyed the labour side of it. But I think it was during that process I was like, you kind of miss that.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of, it's quite a solitary job a
Yeah.
wee bit. You can't miss working with people.
Yeah. And well, here, this is the best job you do now is working with people day in, day out, isn't it? And, and so you've obviously been a celebrant for how long now, is it then?
6-7 years now.
Is it? Yeah.
So this is the longest job I've ever had. That's right.
And you do weddings, but you also cover funerals as well. So how do you find the balance of both of these? I can imagine it's obviously one day you're doing a wedding, which is great, and then the next day you're doing a funeral, which is...
Well,
the emotions are probably different for both.
And I think you have to be... I wouldn't say it's difficult, but you just have to be aware. You have to be professional, but at the same time you have to be quite compassionate, obviously, and understanding. But at the same time, you deal with horrible things. It's the same as we did in the police and things. You deal with the worst of the worst, but you can't let it get you, because it's almost like it's not your place to be upset.
Yeah.
So if I'm residing over a death of a young person, or a tragic incident, or multiple deaths or things like that, and you're handling the funeral and you're speaking to the families and they're aching. You can tell them that they're just destroyed. And the worst thing would be for me to start crying.
Yeah.
In that place. Same with the police. When you're doing there, imagine the police is there and telling all your woes, then the police officers start crying.
Yeah.
So, but then it's not such a turn-off switch, because you need to watch that, because that also was happening in the police. I think with the police, you have to turn that switch off, because there's so much shit you have to deal with.
Yeah.
You have to turn that off. Well, with me, I can just turn the dials a wee bit, and don't get it wrong, you do get emotional at sort of funerals and things like that, but you just can't let it show. We can't let not negative, but you can't. Your job is there to be professional for the family.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is you a snorting mess at the front when you're trying to do it. But just be funerals and weddings. I mean, I don't have a favourite. Funerals, you're really intensive with a family for about a week, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Well, so a wedding, you're like kind of mediocre, kind of medium with them for like 6 months, and then intensive, and then that's it. So there's two really different dynamics, but at the same time, your similarities are you're trying to create the best possible day for them.
Yeah.
Be it a funeral, and that might sound a bit strange, but you're creating the best day possible for them, the best send-off for their loved one. And I always say to families, I want you to look back on this day like a year's time, 2 years' time, once the grieving process is fully in, and say that was a good day.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah.
You're spending a day hearing all about your loved one. Why wouldn't you be smiling or laughing or stuff like that? And the same with the weddings. For a lot of people, the wedding is the best day of their life and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of pressure for anyone. Any service provider, a lot of people say the wedding is the best day of their life, so that's a lot of pressure to be putting on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pressure for everyone that's involved in a wedding, is it?
Exactly.
Whether you're a photographer like myself or...
Well, that's the thing is with a funeral, this hasn't happened, so don't worry. You can get something wrong, and it's like, oh, it's all right. That's not all right, but it's like, don't worry, something much worse has happened. Somebody's dead.
Yeah.
Well, it's at a wedding, if you get something like wrong, it can be really crap. Like, I don't know, you stand on a light or cable and it falls, or the candle brushes over or something like that, or a balloon goes off or something like that. And for some, that's
Everyone
like
remembers that.
Yes, for some that's the end of the world.
Yeah.
So you can get away almost with more at a funeral, as long as you don't get the person's name wrong. It's never happened before.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask you actually, is about your approach to weddings, both in sort of the build up to, you kind of touched on it a little bit there, and then on the wedding day itself with couples. So couples are inquiring with yourself, and then how does it start from there, sort of for
me, I'm very different to everybody else, in the sense I'm really hands off. I know, this isn't the right way or the wrong way, and I know a lot of celebrants and ministers or whoever will go in and they'll have a meeting with the couple like 6 months beforehand, and then they'll write everything out, and then they'll say, oh, there you go, have a read of that, that's what's going to happen on the day. And then they'll say, right, do you want a poem? Here's a poem. Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want that? And they'll completely choreograph the whole thing. Again, that's not a bad thing, but for me, I want the couple to do it.
Yeah.
I want the couple to do it all.
Yeah.
I'm no one. I'm there doing the wedding. It's not about me. So when I'm meeting with couples, I want to meet them for the very first time as close as to the day as possible. And I'm talking about it. Even when I know you, but we had our wedding meeting, 2 weeks before the day?
Yeah.
That's when we discussed it. Because the other thing is, if I'm meeting you 6 months beforehand...
A lot changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing invites, you're doing kilt things, dresses things, stag do's. There's so much shit going on. The last thing you want me to go in, because if I go in at that point, what I want you to do just becomes another job.
Yeah.
You've got this tick list, getting a tick, 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 tick. And then, ceremony, tick, tick. You don't want that because you want the ceremony to be the best thing.
Yeah.
It's probably 50% the amount of couples I actually meet.
Yeah.
And again, the thing with the hand fastings and quake drinkings, I can do it all. But again, I'm not going to say to a couple, right, would you like to do that or that? Because it needs to come from the couple.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't come from the couple, then it means it's not important.
Yeah.
The most important thing is you guys. Mm-hmm. And how can you top you guys getting married?
Yeah.
I've been to too many weddings where it's like they'll have like a quake drinking. It's like it's just shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't add anything to it.
It just feels like it's just been thrown in there.
It is.
Just to do it.
Yeah. I do know something. Right, which poem would you like? Tick. Which gesture would you like? You don't have to have any gestures.
Yeah.
My weddings range from 5 minutes to an hour. Mm-hmm. Independent, but it's all on the couple. So I take the couple. If a couple comes to me and says, Halde, we want to do a quake drinking, I say, fantastic, let's do it.
Yeah. How are we going to do that?
Exactly.
Like, what do you want to put your spin on it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it means it's important to the couple that they have it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go to the couple, do you want a quake drinking? Yeah, sounds nice. Yeah, okay. Because it's shit.
Yeah.
And it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest worry that couples have with me is that they're not worried.
Yeah.
I had a bride, she's lovely, I had a bride phone me 2 weeks before the day in tears, bawling her eyes out. So, I'm so stressed. What are you stressed about? I don't know. Honestly, and then we talked through everything. I was like, got to the end, and then it helped her a wee bit. But not the worst thing is that people mean well, but and I'm going to be very general here. Mothers, mother-in-laws, bridesmaids, they'll put their experience onto the bride a little bit.
Yeah.
And that makes the bride worry.
Yeah.
But I always say to couples that you phone me at midnight if you want on a Sunday and I'll answer it.
Yeah.
But you won't have any stress with me. I take care of everything. I don't write out scripts and show them.
Yeah.
Everything's magical in the day. To me, that's horrendous.
Yeah.
If you'll get that script like 2 months beforehand, you read it, you know what's coming. You know what's coming.
Yeah. I think.
But again, that puts a lot of trust in me. You have to put a lot of trust in me for that.
Yeah.
But again, it's a risk. but again, and that's the best thing. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Because then I'll be a mug. But it's like, some people look at my weddings and go, Jesus, that's fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
That's fine. Others will look at my weddings and go, that's amazing. We love that guy. Let's have him.
Yeah.
I think when I first started, I think you have to. I was trying to be everything to everyone. Mm-hmm. And, changing my ways to suit them and then doing something else to suit them.
Yeah.
Was, you can't do that.
Yeah, I find that with the photography as well. You don't really get your own style until you're sort of a few years into it. Maybe that you're just
exactly.
It's difficult. You're nervous and you want to do the best job. Like you say, you're trying to please everything about everyone.
Well, you're looking for got to get work and things like that.
Yeah,
you kind of have to do it.
But me and Kimberly got married here in Loch Ness.
You did.
By yourself. So I know firsthand about your sort of personal touches. You threw in a few things about myself and Kimberly, which was nice. But obviously you don't know everyone like you did me and Kimberly sort of personally before their wedding. So you touched on it there about having a bride phone you up saying they're sort of nervous, but they didn't have anything to be nervous about. Mm. How do you do that on the day? How do you make people calm? Because you do that. You make people really calm and ease them sort of into the day a bit better. Than
one of the things I do, if I'm there early enough, I'm driving, I won't drive in my suit or my kilt. I'll just drive in this.
Yeah.
I'll turn up in this and I'll knock on the door to the bride in this.
Are you wearing shorts today?
Yes. But then the bride, they'll look at me and go, oh, and I say, but just being you.
Yeah.
relaxes everything. And I'll meet the groom and they'll be getting wound up and things like that. I'm just going, I always like to give people a cuddle. You know?
Yeah.
It's always kind of breaks the ice a wee bit. And then we just talk through things. And we just talk it through. But it's the easiest thing. And I always say to the couples before, it's the easiest thing to get married. You just have to be there.
Just got to stand at the top.
That's it. Like literally everything else is your own choice.
Yeah.
You obviously got to get paperwork. So if you're there on time with your paperwork, that's all you need to get married.
Yeah.
So there's too much put on, like flowers and balloons and chair cover, which is nice. Don't get me wrong, it's all lovely, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When you go to a wedding, you don't remember what the colour the chairs were or what balloon was in the corner or things like that. You'll remember the ceremony because you're sober and it's the first thing there.
Yeah.
You'll remember the food, but only if it's either really great or really bad.
Yeah.
And you remember the dance. That's it.
Yeah.
So I think too many people, again, it's each to their own, and some people want to spend 10 quid on an invite. That's amazing and all singing.
Yeah. I had a couple last year, and like you say there, the bride-to-be was panicking over what colour the pen was going to be for, signing books that you get, like the wee messages and all that.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, so you're going to look back in 2 weeks' time, I think I met them for a coffee, and I was like, you will not remember yourself what colour that pen is, but now you're panicking about that. There's no need to be at all whatsoever.
But that could be a build-up of other factors making that person, so the smallest things become the biggest things.
Yeah.
But again, and I'll always speak to a couple, 2 weeks beforehand and then a few days beforehand. I sometimes get a wee cheeky text message in the morning,
Wee voice message.
Yeah, that sort of thing, voice messages, that sort of thing. And just go in and just be. But I think for me, because I've now got this, the way I do it and the voice I do it, the style I've got, I think people trust me. Like a lot of they've seen what I'm like, or they've heard decent endorsements from me, rather than, who we're going to get, they live closest to us, so let's get that celebrant. Yeah. Or something like that.
Or the cheapest, or
something like that, Or something that they've not really had a good connection with, but they're stuck.
Yeah.
As humanists as well as ministers and whoever, it could be anyone. But I think, it's all about, and I'm very conversational in the way I do things. I'm very professional, but you would think I was. I'm very professional. I think this is my only income. This is the only thing I do, main job that I do. And I have, a single dad to 3 kids and run after myself. So I have to be professional at it, but at the same time, the way I do it, it's very conversational. Yeah. Right, all right, how's it going, guys? You all right? Aye, grand.
But then that just adds to relaxing and making everyone sort of feel at ease around you.
Exactly.
Because you don't want someone standing at the top of the aisle or the top of a room that you're getting married in, like you say, not knowing them or not being able to think you can have a laugh with them or and play about with them a bit.
There's some quite little things you can do that, again, it's not about me. So one quite cool thing I do is with the bridesmaids, for instance. I always get the bridesmaids to come in and hug the groom when they get to the front. Yeah. Because the worst thing you see with bridesmaids is that they'll just walk up and then they'll just go that way. Yeah. And the groom's sitting there going, oh, fuck.
I know, she's not speaking to me already.
Exactly. But then you sense the whole room go, oh, that's really nice. And everyone just goes, relaxes. And again, when the bride comes in or the groom comes in or the partner comes in, again, get them to hug, kiss. Thanks for coming. You look nice. Yeah. You've been with them. It's changed days now. Most people are actually living together now before they get married. Yeah. The vast majority of people live together. Yeah. The thought of getting married and you're not living together now is something crazy. Yeah. So there's little things like that you can set. And even before the bride comes in, I'll warm the crowd up a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely
set everybody at ease. I like to get there early and I'll walk around, hello guys, oh you look nice, blah 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 blah, things like that.
I like what you're saying at the top. I remember it with my wedding and obviously doing weddings now as well with yourself. It's you have them facing each other during the ceremony, whereas you still see some that they're both facing away from the crowd as such behind them. Yeah, they're facing towards the celebrant. Whereas if they're facing towards each other, I think that's quite nice.
So I think it's awkward as hell. Nobody wants to be looking at me through the whole way.
I don't know.
But that gets the energy going round in a circle. If you've got your backs to everybody, but they're either looking at each other, then they can look that way, they can look that way, and things like that. And people can see them and stuff like that too. Yeah, there's just these little things like that you can do. And space, that's a massive thing for me at the front. I'm a big guy, but there has to be space at the front. Mm-hmm. So if you're all squashed in, one of the first things I do is just get rid of tables. Yeah. and you see the hotels or the venue operators are like, that's our table. So get rid of that table. So you get nice and space, nice and relaxed, nice and peaceful.
Yeah, good. So since you've started being a celebrant, your growth on social media and bookings has been incredible, I'd say. In terms of, like you say, having started a business by yourself to get in it to where it is now. What would you put that down to, apart from obviously your amazing personality? And
that's why we're putting into the
I would as well.
No, I've no idea. I don't know. Like you say, I've got, I don't know, not far off 250,000 followers on TikTok. I've no fucking idea why.
Yeah, we're coming.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Facebook things, I don't know.
I think it's down to you've had the right approach to social media probably since you started.
Yeah.
You've got ahead of, and still a lot of people don't do it, myself included. You're nervous to get in front of a camera and actually show yourself. You get on Facebook Lives. You were doing that a lot back in sort of a few years ago.
I need to, I've kind of let it slide a wee bit recently, but I need to get back onto it.
Yeah, and Instagram and like your Facebook and Instagram Lives. It just gets you straight into like the pocket or the phone of someone. If they see your Halde's going live, that's you getting direct access to people that may have just followed you that are already engaged but haven't got their celebrant booked.
I think I'm not too. And I think again it goes back to that. Like I'm not chasing everything. I would never chase, but I'm not after doing every ceremony. You know, I think maybe if you were, maybe you'd be a bit more conscientious about what you're saying.
Yeah.
But because I'm not doing that, I want to, kind of attract cool couples. I don't want to do a wedding and be bored at my mind.
Yeah.
Or things. I want to attract cool couples. So if people look at me and the way I do things and they think, oh, he's all right, then you've already got that rapport, essentially. I think I think maybe if I was trying to do everything or I wasn't doing very well with the job, maybe I'd be a bit more conscientious about, maybe it would be, good evening, my name is Halde Pottinger and I am but now it's just, all right, folks, what's the crack?
Exactly, and that just breaks the ice and or any sort of, they just get to you straight away, don't they?
And as you know yourself, I'm me the whole time.
Absolutely.
When I do weddings or funerals or here, it's me.
Like you touched on earlier, and you've got some insane numbers on TikTok. 3.5 million or over 3.5 million likes on your posts, over 200,000 followers. I looked this morning.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that kind of pressure?
I don't know. Well, there's no pressure there, is there? I don't even think about it. It's just, like I said, I have no idea where they've come from. It makes no difference in my life or things like that or stuff like that. And social media these days, lots of people get trolled and things like that and abuse, and I don't seem to get much of that. So.
And you find the TikTok stuff, everyone's like, you should be on TikTok if you're a local wedding supplier. Do you find TikTok actually helps book weddings?
It's funny, and this is not an derogative term, but up here in the Highlands compared to everywhere else, you're almost like just behind the wave.
That's what I was saying about you with the Facebook Lives. You're ahead of TikTok's ahead of the.
Yeah, so I think although TikTok's sort of reach, it has to the mainstream, but I mean, I know there's still plenty of celebrants out there that really struggle with Facebook. Facebook is actually dying. It's like the if you're going to choose a social media platform, Facebook wouldn't be the first one to choose.
Yeah.
It's actually going. I know it's one of those weird things. It's still building, but it's actually going down.
Yeah.
And it won't be here forever.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I don't know. I think a lot of the time as the couples will. Do they trust a review on Facebook these days? Do they trust a TikTok video or things like that? Maybe, but I think most bookings will come from word of mouth, or speaking to the hotels and go, because it's different. It's couples will put you in preference, like photographer, celebrant. For some people, the venue is the most important thing. So they book the venue and they don't really care too much about what photographer they get or what celebrant they get. For others, it's celebrant. I've had lots of couples, who will change their day, the hour, the place, just so that they can have me. Now, but the same for photographers as well.
Yeah.
Or when you're free, all right, we'll wait a month, and then when you're free, then we'll get married.
Yeah.
So I think it's down to that too. And I don't think people would get that from a social media post, although very helpful. I think a social media post is more like your window, if you like, for then people to then have another look to then meet you and stuff like that. And,
They're just getting a bit of you, aren't they? Like,
yeah.
They can see you a bit more.
It certainly wouldn't help. Oh, sorry, it wouldn't. Oh, sorry, that's my phone. Sorry, I can't marry you. It wouldn't hurt being on all the social media platforms, but it's a job itself.
That's my next question was going to be, how do you keep up to date with that?
I tried.
And your diary, your phone, you must be getting inquiries all the time.
The phone's
It must be difficult.
Well, you're self-employed. You're never off.
Yeah.
You'll take a phone call at Sunday at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. That could have been a wedding. You just missed out on
that could be my next. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry if it is. I'll get back to you.
You're supposed to have a wedding at 2 o'clock today, but you're here just now.
That's right. Where are you? So yeah, it's. What was the question again?
How do you keep up your diary?
I keep up to date with things. Yeah.
Because you've obviously got bookings a couple of years in advance, maybe, or how do you keep on top of everything?
Okay, but I'm very professional.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't come across that.
Yeah.
Comes across as I'm very relaxed and chilled and stuff like that. But you have to. It's not being anything too special things. You just have to be on top of things.
Yeah.
And if you let things get away from you, then you're buggered.
Yeah. And when people are booking you, I know we talked about it a little bit earlier on, but is there anything else that people get from you, or what would they be expecting from?
There's one thing I do as well. I might sound awful to some couples. I don't chase. Like if a couple will message me saying, "Can we book you?" and I'll go, "Yep, I'm free." And if I don't hear from them for like a week, I won't go just to make sure you got my email, because then I'm not up on their priority list. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if people want me, they need to get in contact with me, and they have to be sure it's me that they want, and then I'll book them. So
that's it. You just need to get in touch with them and reply to them straight away. And
but I'll get that. Someone say, "Are you free that date?" Yep. Right. But here's the deposit.
I get that. You get it as well, probably, where someone's just sent the same message to 5 different celebrants, 5 different photographers,
and I
don't say your name.
Exactly.
Like, hi.
Exactly.
Are you free on this date?
And to be honest, sometimes I'll even ignore those emails, so I won't waste my time with them. That sounds too harsh, but it's true, because I don't want to just do a wedding.
Yeah.
I want to do a wedding where people will respond to me and they really want that a really cool sort of wedding.
And you get an email saying, "Hi, Halde, you did a wedding I was at previously, loved it."
Yeah.
That's better to receive than
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's. Do you get anything special when you book me? Whoever you want. Again, it's not my wedding. That's why you'll notice, like, when couples do the vows and they go, "I'll stand to the left or right."
Yeah.
I won't stand there in the photograph.
It's not about you.
Or people are kissing, I won't stand in the background going, "Yeah," like that. And I'm the only celebrant in Scotland, I know this, that doesn't fucking have a big folder and reads from a folder.
Yeah.
I'll go ad lib. I'll just talk and I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Because I find that folder, that's like a barrier. I find it's like, it's like there. It's like
a big black folder like that.
A big black folder there, and it's almost like so. What you have to? What, you don't know the couple?
Yeah.
You haven't done enough work for the couple that you have to have everything in a folder that you don't trust yourself, but the couple have had to okay as well. So I think for that you just get that. You get the wedding where you want. If you want a 5-minute wham bam thank you ma'am, do it. If you want an hour prolong, go for it.
And on the back of that, what would you say sort of maybe special memories from being a wedding celebrant? And I'd imagine it's taking you to some pretty amazing places as well. Yeah,
I got quite a lot of attention with the one on Glen Nevis, John and Bridget, where we did first wedding on skis. That was a very cool thing. It was like this
cool.
Freak day in May where the snow was fantastic, and got a full day skiing as well, which was lovely. So it's that one. Those are memorable ones. Other ones are this Australian couple that came over for the romantic notion of getting married in the Highlands. It was the fucking worst gale ever. And they were quite a small couple, so I had one in each arm like that, shouting the vows at them so they could hear me. I did arguably the first ever humanist ceremony in Africa when I went over to Zanzibar to do a ceremony there. And again, this is going to sound cheesy as fuck, but every ceremony does have its own unique thing. And again, some of the colleagues I used to have and colleagues I now have, you'll speak to them and they've all got horror stories about things that have happened. Oh, the bride was like this, or the groom did that, oh, the venue like that, oh, something, oh, they didn't like that, blah, blah, blah. I don't have, like, genuinely, touch wood yet, I don't have any horror stories.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, I don't.
Yeah.
I got one about a mother-in-law, but not about the brides.
Yeah.
Or the grooms or the couples, because I think you've already got that rapport with them.
Yeah.
So there's no hassles. That one with the brides was such a shame. It was a lovely big wedding. And this is how pathetic it was. I came in, speaking to the bride, talking to bridesmaids, prep talk, all that sort of stuff. I said, what side do I stand at the front? I tend, when I'm doing a wedding, I tend to speak to you about sides, because it might be a window shining through.
Yeah.
We might be outside, the wind might be blowing. I don't do it all the right because it's tradition, left because it's tradition. Bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like where the sun's shining, there might be a light or a fire extinguisher behind you, so let's get the bride on the other side because it's a nicer side. That's how you choose.
Yeah.
So I went up to the bride and said, what way would you like to stand? And the mother-in-law, or her mother, fired in and said, she's standing on the left. And I said, why? It's because that's tradition. I didn't lose a rag, but very calmly I said, no offence, Mama, this isn't your wedding. And I turned to the bride and said, how would you like to stand? And she just said, oh, just to the left. She was like so defeated, because she'd obviously had that all day.
Yeah.
And she was in tears when she actually came up the aisle. And it took about 5 minutes before I felt that she was actually enjoying it.
Yeah.
And that was like factors that you can't control. That's what I say to brides and grooms and things like that. I get loads of advice from people who've done it before, but it's your day.
That's what I say as well. It's your wedding, you do it your way.
Exactly.
How you want, when you want. And you can't have...
And the other thing is that there is no tradition. You've never been married before. So how the fuck can you have a tradition?
Yeah.
You know, people say, oh, it's tradition that you put the ring there, or it's tradition you stand. You've never been married before. You don't have a tradition.
Yeah.
You know?
Or someone comes here to like the Loch Ness, they get married in the room round the corner, they get married out in the garden.
Yeah.
There's nothing traditional about that. You're getting married, so
exactly.
do it your way. Like,
exactly. It's
like
a
you
weird...
said, if you want to stand at the end of the garden there, on the right side or the left side, you do it your way, not what your mother-in-law says. That's what I try and say to people as well. But.
Exactly.
So, so what would you say, sorry, what are your sort of mid to long-term plans with...
World domination.
World domination.
No, just keep doing what I'm doing. But who knows what I'll be doing
How far in advance do you take bookings for?
I've got bookings for 2025.
Yeah, I've got a couple as well.
But again, it's quite crazy to think that.
I know. Keeps you in the game though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're kind of like, well, I'm committed now to 2025.
Yeah. But again, as you say, yeah, true. But again, this is something, again, yourself too, potentially... you still will be on top of your game and things like that, but it can provide you with some freedom to pursue other things if you did want to. But at the moment, I'm loving this. Like this is the longest job I've ever had.
Yeah.
I'm renowned for changing my mind and doing other things and stupid stuff, and that this is the longest settled I've ever been in my life.
And do you think that makes you, it's a bit deep maybe, do you think that makes you a lot happier in yourself? And
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But no, I'm not worried or stressed at all.
Yeah.
I don't get worried or stressed about anything.
And you're in control of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm in a lucky... don't get me wrong, I've had to work my fucking arse off to get here. This isn't given to me.
Yeah.
As you say, I think the worst, the most I'd be is like, do 13, 14 ceremonies a week. You're just hard at it. But so I've worked hard to get here, but now I'm in quite a good stage where I don't turn down work, but I can, as I say, I can overlook an email that's just a generic one to 50 celebrants.
Yeah.
And maybe nitpick the better ones, or the nicer ones, I don't know.
That's a testament to you and how good you are, but also how long you've stayed at it as well, because there's too many people that'll drop off. Like, I still feel like I'm at the stage where I'm still trying to grow my business and get my name out there. This is why we're doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
But you've got to that stage now where you're totally in control of what bookings you take, and you don't have to do the crazy sort of...
It's true. I like it. I think it's very apt for photographers as well. This is some advice from a funeral director. He says that the best, when people don't know you're there,
absolutely,
that's when you know you've done the best job.
Yeah. And
I almost feel like, I know which feels a bit weird because I'm there standing and I'm talking to everybody. But when it gets to the most important bits, like the vows, like the rings, like the love, like when they're talking to each other, I get the fuck out of the way. I'm not standing there behind there like a gooseberry. And
as a photographer, I've worked weddings with you. You are the maybe one in a very few that know like you say, with the first kiss, the rings, to actually step out.
Yeah.
Like we touched on earlier on, there's too many celebrants that stand in the middle with the first kiss, and then you've got the first kiss, you've taken a good photo, and you've got a celebrant standing in between their heads.
But for quite self-indulgent reasons, not just because I don't know where else to stand.
Yeah.
Sometimes you know where else to stand, fair dues, but others want to be in the picture.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like...
And what's someone going to do with that photo in the end? Like, you just...
But to me, that's not... It's not about you at all. You see some real cheesy poses in there.
Yeah, I'm not like that either as well. But I think the wedding industry, I've only been in it sort of 3 or 4 years myself, it just seems to be getting busier and busier.
Yeah, there's more options now.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing. There's more options when it comes to ceremonies and photography and any service providers.
And you can do it anywhere.
Exactly.
So like you say, you've done them in Glen Nevis, you do them, you've always
I've
been
done them in Glen Nevis, I've done them in...
And there's nowhere, in Scotland that's the case, that you can go anywhere and get married and you'd be happy to do that, obviously.
Yeah, I've done it in people's back gardens, I've done it in hospitals, I've done it in... Well, I'm off to Croatia in 2 months to do one.
Nice. That'd be good.
You just do it anywhere. Wherever there's love, I will be there.
I was about to say, wherever there's love, there will be Halde.
I will be there.
And hopefully me too. So, hopefully this is going to become a bit of a tradition on the podcast to close it with a question for the guests that come on, like yourself. What would your advice be to couples planning their wedding and then for on the wedding day itself?
So for couples planning the wedding...
Like kind of, they plan the wedding then on the wedding day itself, what sort of couple bits of advice would you have?
Planning the wedding is... This might sound a bit harsh. Don't listen to anybody.
Yeah,
hit it fresh.
Yeah.
Like don't listen to what your sister did. Don't listen to what mom did. Don't listen to what your best friend did. Don't listen to anything, because you'll be subconsciously influenced, potentially subconsciously influenced into decisions or things that really you don't want. Like worst case, you don't want, or better case, you don't really need.
Yeah.
Speak to your celebrant, speak to your service providers that you've put your trust in.
Yeah.
Speak to them, because they don't have a dog in the fight. They should be unbiased.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, I don't care what you do. I'll do it. It's your wedding.
And you've got experience in weddings as well.
Yes,
like
exactly.
You said, someone's advising you hasn't been to a wedding in 10 years. Whereas,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even as you said, even like the last 5-6 years, the landscape of the wedding industry has changed hugely, massively. So the planning stage is, don't listen to anybody, apart from the service providers that you have paid for. You put your trust in, and that's their fucking job.
Yeah.
That's why you should speak to them.
And they look after you as well.
Exactly, not anyone else. And on the day, it's just, I know this is very easy to say, but just relax, enjoy it. But another quite nice thing to do is to help you get into that relaxed state is write each other a wee note or something like that. That can get delivered in the morning. Or a bit of cheek or something, or give each other a text message or something like that. But hopefully when you've got the right service providers, when the day comes, you're not going to be stressed.
Yeah.
You're going to be excited and you're going to be happy, because at the end of the day, you want to do this.
Yeah.
You want to get married.
Yeah.
So if your service providers are all great and you've talked to them and you've got the most out of them and value for money wise and everything, then when the day comes, you won't be nervous. You'll be excited. And you'll smash it.
Amazing. That was great. Now, thank you so much for coming on, being the first guest.
Thank you.
And as we say, how you ease people's nerves at weddings, you've eased my nerves.
I hope the
podcast
journey goes well for you.
Yeah, we'll wait and see how it goes.
Prosper.
I had to come for you first, the biggest influencer in Inverness. But if folk don't actually follow you on social media already, where can they find you?
Gosh, where can't they find me? Put on my own Facebook. Halde Pottinger Ceremonies. Instagram, I think I'm the same thing. And TikTok, just Halde Pottinger. But just Google, just stick it in somewhere, it'll come up.
Just shout Halde out your window.
Just shout Halde or put... I don't know what my Batman sign would be in the sky.
A big H.
A what?
H.
That's like a helicopter might land on it.
True, aye. Yeah.
What about like a bouquet of flowers?
Maybe you could just stick those shorts up.
Could be. Could just be a pair of shorts. Or a beanie hat or something. Or a beard.
A big, Beard
nice. And a beanie hat.
Aye. That would be good.
That would be good. What was the guy called that did the thing again? Commissioner Gordon. Need to get Commissioner Gordon on the go.
Commissioner Halde. No, thank you very much. And for myself on Facebook, if you don't follow me, I'm Ross Cooper Photos, and on Instagram, Ross Cooper Wedding Photographer. So thank you again for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Nice.